Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, today I'm going to focus on a bundle of products from Stampin' Up! Called Festive and Bright. So, this is a really cool stamp set that you can use to create a variety of different holiday cards. So, you have Halloween, you have some images that you can use for just general cards or Thanksgiving if you wanted. And then you have an image in here for Christmas. So I have six different card ideas that I want to share with you, but actually just two card layouts. So I'm going to share those today. And then besides the images in the set, there's also some coordinating dies. So I'm going to show you these little edge dies. I'm going to take these out. I'm going to show you how these little edge dies work with the cards that I'm going to share with you today. But then there's a variety of different other die cuts in here that you can use to decorate your card, and then a little label die for creating the greeting. So good morning, everybody. So these are the three different cards. I have six, but these are three of the six that I created with this particular stamp set. And I really like the stamp sets that Stampin' Up! Has come out with that allow you to create more than just cards or projects for one holiday. So as you can see, I have a Halloween one here, and then I have a little blessed greetings here, and then I have a Christmas one here, the festive and bright. So each of these they're actually the exact same layout. The only difference is I just changed out the papers and, of course, the stamped images to create cards for different holidays. So I'm going to set these aside for the moment, and we're going to focus on the Halloween one. So one of the things about, let me grab this here. One of the things about this particular bundle is that you can create little you can use the images to create like little embellishments for your card. And that's kind of what I did here. I created this little edge on the side of my piece of paper. So I just stamped the Halloween image. And then I used the coordinating die to cut them out. So one of the things about the die is they're both labeled. So this one says 1A and 1B. And so 1A fits on this side of the image and 1B fits on the other. So you can just cut out just an edge. You can create a little edge with the die, or you can add both dies and cut out the entire image to use as an embellishment on your card. So I thought that was just very clever, and it's a great way to offer you a variety of possibilities with the images in the set. So, so you have coordinating dies for all of the images. So like I said, this is the Halloween one, but there are edge dies for, the Christmas one and then for this one. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you a couple different card ideas featuring this set. So this is the first one. And this was inspired by one of the cards in the mini catalog. So I thought I would just kind of case that and show you how to create this. And I have a fun little way that you can create the sentiment too, the one that says spooky. So instead of stamping the word spooky, I'm going to show you how to separate these letters and then add these little ghost images in the middle. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to color my image. So I'm using my stamping blends because that's what I like to use. But you can use any kind of coloring tools that you want to create these. So I'm using Highland Heather. Let's see what I got here. Highland Heather Fresh Freesia. So I'm using the light and the dark Highland Heather and then the dark Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to just start with coloring with the light. Let's see. Let's start with the dark Fresh Freesia. So let me see which one this is. I believe that's this one. So the first thing I did is just kind of colored all the little witches' hats in. And so like I said, I like the stamping blends. because they're easy to color with, but you can use, watercolor pencils or whatever you want to use to color these in. And this one is the light Highland Heather. Now, the thing about the Stampin' Blends, and I think I might have mentioned this before, is that they do tend to bleed through, so you want to have some paper underneath. That's why I have some scrap paper under here. But you want to have some paper underneath. And you also want to make sure you're not coloring like directly on the card front because it'll bleed through to the inside of the card. So I tend to use just separate pieces of paper to do this. And then I'm using the dark Highland Heather just to add a little bit across the band here. And then the nice thing about the Stampin' Blends is you can use different colors to create the background. So I stamped this on a piece of white paper, but I'm going to use a gray granite. This is gray granite Stampin' Blend. And we're just going to color our white paper. We're just going to add color all the way around. Now you could actually two-tone this if you want, but it gives, the way we have to color this, we get enough two-tone on it, so I decided just to use one color. But the more you color with the Stampin' Blend, the more you get kind of that watercolor look, so it'll get a little darker in some areas. So you'll notice that as I color this in. But it's just a kind of a fun way to add a little bit of background color. And the second card I have to share with you, I stamped it directly on some gray cardstock. So that just changes the color of, these hats and stuff, makes them a little bit darker. So you'll see that with the second one. All right, so we almost got this colored. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, so that's our little embellishment that we're going to use to create this card. And so you can see it was pretty easy to create. So let me grab some of my pieces here. So I'm sticking with the gray granite. So I'm just using that for my card base. And then I just cut out a couple different pieces of black glimmer paper. And then I'm using some of the In Color Designer Series paper. So this is that fresh freesia color. I'll put this to the side. So I have two pieces here. They're each 2 inches wide, but I created one a little bit longer. So the black piece, so this glimmer paper is 2 by 5.5. So it runs the full length of the card. And then this one I cut at 2 by 5.25, just to give it, I guess, to offset it a little bit and give it a little bit different look. So we'll adhere those down. And then this piece, we're going to adhere right over the top of this black glimmer paper. So I'm going to do that first. And so with Stampin' Up's glimmer paper, their new glimmer paper, you don't get a lot of glitter. Actually, you don't get any glitter that is all over your hands or your card. So it's really nice. It doesn't shed, I guess is the word. So we'll add this. And it also makes it a little bit easier to adhere things to the glimmer paper because the glitter isn't falling off. All right, so that's what that looks like. So I'm just going to line everything up here. See how I want to add it. So I'm going to add my glitter paper first. All right, so that's going to go on the right side. And then this piece is just going to go on the left. And you could just put it right up against the other piece. All right, so that's the base or our card front. So I'm going to set this aside because now I'm going to show you this little trick for creating the greeting here. So I have my image. It says spooky. I have that on my little block. We're going to use some black ink. So I'm going to use some black Memento ink. And so we're just going to do a little bit of masking. So I'm going to use some washi tape here. And I'm just going to cover up part of this greeting. So we're going to start with the S and the P. And so I'll ink that up first. And then don't forget to take your washi tape off. So I'm just covering up, part of the image so that I can get that S and that P. And we'll stamp that. And then we'll take this. Let me clean this off quick here. And then we'll take this and we'll get another piece of washi tape. You can use washi tape or Scotch tape or whatever you have. And then we're going to cover up this side. And then we'll just ink up the K and the Y and the exclamation point. So you can see I have that inked up. And then we'll add that on the right side. I can move it over. So there you go. So that leaves a little space in between. And then I cut out the little ghost images. Except for I might have lost one. Oh, here it is. So then I used one of the dies in this particular set and I cut out these little ghost images. And I'm just going to add them with a little glue dot right in the center here. So pretty cute. I was inspired to do this by one of the projects, like I said, in the mini catalog, not the annual catalog. I thought it was just a clever idea. So, okay. So let's bring back our card here. And I'm going to add a couple little dimensionals. So you can do that little trick if you only want part of a sentiment. In this case, I split it out. But if you only wanted, let's say, for example, you only wanted to stamp the word festive, you could cover up the word bright and this little and sign with some washi tape and just stamp the word festive if you wanted. So there's lots of possibilities with that. All right, so we'll put this on the card. And then I was using some of these cute little stars. They already have adhesive on them. So I'm just going to add a couple of these. And we'll add one up here. And that's it. Pretty cute. And then on the inside, I just decorated the inside with a little bit more glimmer paper and some of the designer paper. So just a really fun card. I love these little edgelets. And I like how they look, as a embellishment on the card. Oops, one of my stars fell off. Okay. So I'll put that to the side and let me show you this other one. So the other way that I used this edgelet is to actually cut the side of the card. So I cut the right side of my card front after I had stamped this image onto my card. So I'm going to show you how to make this. Just move some of this stuff here. Whoop. I ran out of desk space. Too much stuff everywhere. All right, so I got all these pieces here. So here's what I did. So I stamped the image on my card front just using some black ink. And then I used one of the edge dies to cut it out. So basically you have to open up your card and you have to lay this on the edge over your image, and you have to run this through your embossing machine. And then that will cut that out so that you have a fun little edge for your card. And then before I actually cut it out, I added some glimmer paper to the back of or to the inside of my card front, because as I told you, I'm going to be using some stamping blends. So if I just use the stamping blends on this card front without having something behind it, it would bleed through and you'd be able to see it all. So I decided to add some black glimmer paper just to kind of decorate the inside of the card and then to prevent that from bleeding through. So, all right, so I'm going to open this up here. I'm going to bring back my scrap paper. So we'll color this first. And I only have to color these little hats. I don't have to color the background like I did on the other ones. So you can see how it just looks a little bit different because I'm coloring on the gray paper instead of the white. But it still has a fun look. All right, so there's the first set of hats. So I'm just using, this is the light Highland Heather. And then I'm going to grab the dark fresh freesia. And then we'll color the other two. And then we'll just color the bands and these little hats will be done. And here's the dark. So once I get the Halloween ones done, I'll show you the other cards that I created for other holidays. Oop, forgot one. Here's one. Okay, so we got that done. Get this out of the way. So then the next thing I did, I have a couple of different pieces. I just cut a 1/2 inch wide, and this is 5.5 inch long piece of the glimmer paper. So that's just going to go on the left side of the card front. And then I used the same in color designer paper. So this is that fresh freesia color. So that's just going to go directly next to this. And this piece is 2 by 5.5. I'll just add that. I'll bring the card back so you can see what it looks like. So that's the front for right now. And then the inside, I'm just going to add, probably shouldn't have brought the card back yet. I'm just going to add a 1-inch piece of this glimmer paper on the right side on the inside, because this will show through to the front. So we'll add this. So this is just 1 inch wide and it's 5.5 inches. It's the full length of the card. And then I have a 3/4 inch wide piece of the designer paper. My glue is not coming out. Hang on 1 second. Try it again. There we go. So we'll just add this on the inside next to this piece. So this is 3/4 by 5.5. So that's decorating the inside. Okay, there we go. All right, so now you can see that black paper shows through and it kind of accents our little hats very nicely. So we have the inside decorated. And then I did the same thing I did on the previous card. I just stamped my little spooky the way I showed you and then just added those little ghost images. So we'll just add this to the card. I just pop that up with a couple dimensionals. And then I'll add a couple little stars here. Oh, looks like my star fell off of the other one. So let's add it back. And then that would be it. There we go. So that's what our spooky card looks like. And that's how you use that edgelet die to create this fun look with that image. So, all right, so let me move these out of the way. So these are the spooky ones that we just created. But like I told you earlier, there are other images in the set that you can use. So this I created more of like a gratitude card with one of the other images. And I used actually watercolor pencils to color these images in, and then some of the harvest DSPs. So, but you can see this one, it's the exact same design as this Halloween one. So I just used a different edgelet that coordinated with this particular um, image. And then I did the same thing here, just cut this little piece out the same way I did here. And instead of using glimmer paper, I used some designer paper. So those match together. And then for the Christmas ones, they're identical, exact same measurements, exact same design. I just used the light bulbs and stuff and some Christmas paper to create this card, but it's the exact same design as these two. Same measurements, same design, just different paper, different stamp images. And then same thing with this one. This is just the exact same design. I just used the Christmas set. So there you go, you guys. I hope you enjoyed these card ideas. Like I said, I really like this particular stamp set. I like the stamp sets that offer you the opportunity to do a variety of different holiday cards, not just Halloween or not just Christmas. So there's lots of options with this particular set. And I just showed you two different ways to use those dies, those little edge dies, but there's lots of possibilities. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. I did provide the link to this particular bundle, the Festive and Bright bundle. So if you're interested in that, you can take a look at that link. And I will get these card ideas up on my blog later today. So thanks so much for joining me, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day and a great week. And I just want to let you know that next week, I will not be doing a live. I know, you guys are sad, but next week I do have the next weekend actually. I do have we've planned a memorial for both my parents. As many of you know, both my parents have passed away within a very short time of each other. So we have a memorial service and different things planned for next weekend. So I won't see you next week, but I will be back after that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will share some fun projects with you in a couple weeks. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great day.